Greetings and salutations, BraveHearts and Coach-Madd-Hattery, and welcome to Team CMHU Situation Report, the addendum that goes along with the full recording titled The Urban Warrior in the Chaos Golden Garden. Brought to you by yours truly, Coach T. Marie Wiggins, also known as Skylar Indigo Inc., also known as the Golden Wildling. Had to put the theatrics on that. That's the way I'm feeling today. And so we are still within the eye of, what can I say, Temetnosia, which means to know thyself. That goes along with the Self-Study Summit, the Wounded Healer, as well as Coaching by Story as an extracurricular activity for those within the arts, music, crafts, vocation, poetic justice, and tarot treasure troves. There is a full transcript already posted on Scribe that goes along with the full report of the the Urban Warrior inside the Chaos Golden Garden. And after I finished that recording, other things came to mind. Other things unfolded and happened within my reality that prompted me to do an addendum to the full recording. The CMHU Self-Study Summit breakdown is as follows: 5% metaphorically speaking, 60% self-care, coaching tools and tutelage, 5% tarot treasure trove, and 30% coaching by story, conversation dedication. Now, the portion of the conversation dedication, the entire list is found on the actual situation report. The song that actually crossed over into the addendum is The Good Fight by Mayamuna Youssef and DJ Dummy, also known as the Vintage Babies. Carve out some time. As a matter of fact, carve out several moments in time to get to know that song and understand it by heart. We are truly in the midst of fighting the good fight. Win, lose, or draw, we are all at a point in our lives where major decisions are being made. Our emotional bodies are being healed. Conflicts and confrontations are being settled. Past, present, and futures are being reconciled. All sorts of relationships are being mended. Trusts and bonds are being initiated. And even though we are in the post-shadow phase of this summer's eclipse season, and some of the major planetary players are returning online, I'll use this moment to say happy August 1st and welcome back Mercury. And for me personally, July had been a very trying time. In just those 31 days, my entire daily regimen has changed, which has included a move and a relocation of viewpoint. which mainly is the provocateur for this addendum. I got to thinking, about a day ago or so, that sometimes those of us that share through our a channel on YouTube, especially when we um, share insights and discoveries and certain lessons that we've either learned or are learning, or the results of certain paths we're traveling, or certain people who cross our paths that we're traveling, those that we meet and greet that are of like heart and mind. It's easy to craft certain recordings and videos in the light of being a guru, or a master teacher, when the fact of the matter is, every single day, the baseline is still that of scholarship. We are still lifelong learners. And so I stand here in this moment, sharing my time and space to make it clear that I am no master teacher by any means. I am a sharer of sentiment and authentic expression. And even inside my rants, which I've only posted one in the public domain, but even inside that space, it is truly to just share my life, where I am, where I've been, and where I'm aiming to go. And if it just so happens that where I am, where I've been, and where I'm aiming to go resonates with you, I invite you to join in. I invite you to partake some of the lessons that I have learned or am in the process of learning. Shucks, if you catch me on the right day, I'll even share with you some of the things that I aim to learn, because I'm not there yet. And I truly believe I'm in the position where I will be dying trying. If that's even a thing, of course it's a thing. So yeah, I'm on this path to self-actualization. I'm on this path to inner healing. I'm on this path to become one with my past, present, and future, mind, body, and soul. I used to get frustrated when I would hear folks say, you got to do the work. You got to do the work. You got to get with self. You got to do the work. You got to know thyself, know thyself, know thyself. Until I got so frustrated, like, what the fuck does that mean exactly? What does it mean to know thyself? What does it mean that you have to do the work? And only through that chaotic frustration did answers begin to reveal themselves. And so this addendum is not for the meek and and those that are emotionally well and have it all put together and know where they're going. This is for the lost ones. I'm going to serve as Peter Pan in this moment and share with you a little bit about my lost self. And with that said, we're going to keep in mind about the following. And so I took some notes. So there is a thing called emotionality disorder, one that resides alongside the banks of the Sea of Sorrow, as well as the potentiality of one's imagination, psychic flexibility, your story as the shoulders by which you stand upon, retaking your right to remain silent, and environmental toxins. Our intrapersonal developmental color code remains black to gold as we take our lead situations and transmute them into golden enlightenment. Some things that feel like mistakes or faults or shortcomings are not always so. So I continue to stand in the gaps that dispel the notions that we have to be such elitist and that everything that dwells from us has to be perfect, and that each and every attempt that we do, or that we aim to do, should I say, has to be produced without flaw, which is one of the reasons that I do not, I repeat, I do not spell check any of the transcripts or the situation reports, mainly because I am too inside the proactive duty to get away from the addiction of perfection. And I know that mine began to solidify in childhood when I continue to grapple with the fear of rejection. And when I say, um, not when I say, but as I prop that up as if it is something of the past, no, it is not. Even in the midst of my adulthood, there is still streaks of evidence that I will be slow to face up with anything that runs the risk of me being rejected in some sort of way, shape, form, or fashion. Am I getting better with it? Yes, I am. Because yes, I can. So, therefore, yes, I am. And each day I push myself to produce something and share it, regardless of my uh, want and need to check it and double check it and check it again and stand firm in the clearing that folks are going to think what they want to think, regardless whether we do or don't do, say or don't say. As long as I am pleased with it, then I must let it rip. I must stand right outside of that comfort zone that says you must be perfect in order to show up. And every day I stand to dispel this notion, which would answer to why you would be hearing this at the moment that you hear it. A few days ago, I was challenged to revisit my personal and professional goals, make sure that I'm still in agreement with it, and that I am still on path with achieving certain things that my innermost self wants to experience, fear or no, and that me being dedicated to just seeing what that feels like, understanding what it feels like, gathering the wisdom as a result to stepping in it and just feeling it. My Shiro's journey has been packed full of me aiming to reverse what I consider to be a curse of always needing to show up in a certain light that would be deemed acceptable from those outside of myself. That I really do need to be okay with when myself says we're satisfied. Now, if myself, and only for myself, not, we're not, let me slow down. Not, we're not satisfied because of what someone else may think. But I mean, not satisfied because some kind of way it feels incomplete, or inside it says, okay, we'll add this, tweak this. But I'm getting better, especially in the last 90 days, where I wait for my inner voice to say, yeah, we're good. Okay, this feels good. Post it. When before, I would never get to that point. I never seemed to get to the point where my inner voice said, it's good enough. Only until I began to challenge it. So I took the spell check off. Now, I would still edit and proofread, but not with such critical energy. Because the main thing at this point, so let me say, because if I never became satisfied with the transcript part of the situation report, then I would never record. Because I use the transcript as my sheet music, if you will, to flow the recording. And it was getting to the point where I would have all of these ideas about segments that I wanted to record. They would begin to pile up because I would never clear the transcript. And then that brought on a whole nother onslaught of stress and second guessing and feeling that I was not achieving at the pace that I felt I should be. I still don't think I'm ready to enable the comment section though. I'm not there yet. And every time I think about it, it makes me want to put in this contingency to say you can only comment if it's relating to the matters at hand. If it's relating specifically to what it is that was discussed within the recording. Because some comments are just so unnecessary. It really is. It's so unnecessary. And I be wondering, like, how much more robust would the experience be if everybody stayed on task and commented with either with what it is that they learned within the recorded segment, or how it is that their life coincides with what's being recorded in the segment. Like, it's like, come on. You can have someone that will kick you great knowledge and a comment talking about her hair. What the fuck? What is this for real? What does this mean? So, I understand it goes with the territory, but I don't know. It's just like, did you not learn anything from what you just listened to? So, it just feels to me that until we get better with protocol of commenting, that's just not going to be an option because it's just unnecessary. Anywho, as I continue to walk my own path, I'm going to remain transparent and we're just going to let it rip. So, the building of the Coach-Madd-Hattery's Underland University and Radio, we have established our own official Justice League, which is Hope, Wisdom, Clarity, Destiny, Karma, Epiphany, Creativity, Solitude, Affirmation, Gratitude, Compassion, and I'm still reading from script. Serendipity, ameliorate, and asynchronous. Now, inside the Coaching Mad Hatter's certification banner, which I'll segue real quick to say that September 1st is the start of our official curriculum season. And so enrollment is now open for those who are looking to become better coaches for themselves as they respect all of the hats that they have to wear and somehow gain balance and remain sane all at the same time and remain polite and full of manners and be politically correct and still be on time and not fucking lose it. And so when we are in curriculum season, we really do dig in deep to grab hold of that thing called the relationship with self. There are a lot of assessments going on, a lot of research and development going on, a lot of story building going on. And there is a baseline to the relationship with self. There is actually uh, a buffet, uh, certain elements that you can pull and utilize that will get you closer to yourself, as well as infuse the presence of the self you show up as and how it aligns to what side of the story you will ultimately be on. There is a such thing as an asynchronous timeline. Studying yourself as a curriculum, in my opinion, will do us a wealth of good. All of the knowledge that will be shared during this season's autumn curriculum will be by way of all of that that I've bumped into on my own personal journey. And so from the age of 6 years old, I have been in some shape, form, or fashion in a fight or flight mode. More often than not. More often than not, even if there was no apparent threat, I always found myself treading the sea of sorrow and being in this fight or flight mode. Now, as my studies go on and my research and development gets in depth with every passing day, I'm finding out that my road to was of a certain causality for me to be able to gather firsthand knowledge of certain situations that once I processed and absorbed its insight and then transmuted it into authentic expression, that it could be offered up as validated counsel for those who I will be destined to share this with. So all my messages I have deemed timeless, and those that are meant to bump into it and sit with it will be just that, destined for those to bump into and sit with. And so my innermost challenge, especially right now in the present, is my hyper levels of cortisol, which is also known as the stress hormone. And I really had to dig deep into this, right? And so, along with that, I found out that I am now being challenged with unclogging my lymphatic systems or system, as well as harmonizing my aura and reconstructing my diet, which isn't always an easy thing for those of us who would be considered poverty stricken. And I don't mean poverty stricken uh, with regards to like money per se, or even um, material possessions, or where you physically reside. I'm talking metaphorically poverty stricken, where all of your thoughts still dwell within the this is impossible realm. And I know many are currently being challenged to restructure their thoughts in this thing called scarcity mindsetting. And it really is a generational curse. It's learned behavior through the thing that I just listed as environmental toxin. You do become the product of your environment. And when you get a certain age and life challenges you to redirect that, reconstruct that, the better you know yourself, the better understanding will come along. Because none of this is easy. None of it. And I will continue to be the reminder of that. If you're looking for a quick fix, because we live in this microwavable era, I'm honestly not the one you ought to be listening to, joining in with. Yeah, because I'm not into misleading anyone. So I never want to give you the impression that all that I speak of is all of a sudden going to quickly fix that which ails you or stumps you or shortcomes you. Nope. You have to be a lifelong learner and in this for the long haul. Pace your patience and know that recovery comes in small, succinctive spurts. That's what it means to do the work. To do the work means to pay attention to that which is inside your mind, to question it, to have rhythmic conversations with the voice that resides within, to not challenge everything, but to not accept everything. That there is balance that needs to be identified inside of those conversations. To take stock with the visions that come across your insight, your inner sight, your first sight, your first eyesight, which can only be viewed for the most part when you close your two physical eyes. Reclaiming or retaking one's right to remain silent is probably amongst the greatest recovery techniques I've bumped into thus far. Yes, this is a busy, 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 busy society that we live in. If you are on American soil, yes. It's almost like you're nobody if you are not busy to the max. Run it till the wheels fall off. But I beg to differ. I beg to differ. And I'm inviting everyone to reclaim your right to remain silent, which is a step above picking and choosing your battles. Because inside of that solitude will you find the confident answers that will direct you to which battles you're going to acclaim, to speak or don't speak, to act or don't act. Which serves nicely as the schematic to being the urban warrior inside of inside of a Chaos Golden Garden. All metaphorically speaking. Remember, the center of oneself is the heart chakra. That is the energy source that doubles as your caring center. Your alignment to give a shit. That's where all the things that matter to you is stored. And the cultivation of such center is mainly between your thoughts and your feelings. And when we jam it all in only with thoughts and don't put in any feelings, then we have more weeds than we have seeds. We have like this wild unknown versus this calm, serene, therapeutic place where the madness of it all can be reconciled. And so I think that's about it. Um, as far as speaking off the dome. So I will end this segment with a few notes that I pulled from just doing a quick internet search on um, the balancing of a hyperactive um, of hyperactive cortisol levels. And so having too much cortisol in the blood can be damaging to one's health mentally and physically, as well as emotionally, spiritually, shucks, and even financially, if you really think about it. And particularly high levels over an extended period of time, I'm reading that says it could be detrimental and devastating. Those that know me personally can see how this is so, but still be perplexed at how it's so. Because when you are addicted to perfection, you will go to great lengths to make sure that certain imperfections about your emotional body is hidden. Now, with that being so, there is a promised breakdown of one's physical body. And so my breakdowns were happening at the worst time that they could possibly happen. And my healing process has been at a very slow crawl versus being able to bounce back and keep it moving. And so today, when I read about some of the things that I could partake in that will help lower my stress levels and bring my my cortisol back in harmony, I felt pretty good because it confirmed that I am on track. And most of the things that I have been doing or have been participating in has truly been through the instructions of my inner voice. I hadn't gone to look for any um, contemporary literature, mainly because I'm still in the midst of the tender phases of courtship with self. So I really wanted to hear what my self had to say with regards to my own unique healing regimens. And so it says by simplifying one's lifestyle plus increasing supplemental activities of fun and laughter. And that really made me feel good because my inner voice, like I said, over the last 90 days, had been urging me and softly coasting me into moments where I could laugh more and release and have a lot of fun and connect through those avenues. So to find out that those were actually balancers of my hyper levels of cortisol, it made me feel good. Very, very good. Actually accomplished, if you will. So this also includes routine moments of rest and relaxation, as well as hobby satisfaction, meditation, breathing exercises, and as I mentioned earlier, diet reconstruction, which is to involve plenty of water. And they also included all outdoor activities, as well as water sports and gardening. If you want to turbo boost your balancing efforts to lowering stress levels, which is, yeah. So lowering stress levels, harmonizing stress levels, raising vibrations. So increase activities that will bring forth fun, satisfaction, and laughter. Get in your rest and relaxation. Reclaim, retake back your right to remain silent. Tell more of your story that will help you identify the shoulders upon which you stand. And so, as I mentioned in a previous recording, I know for a fact that it's my parents and my children. Like, those are the two pillars that help me reclaim my sustenance, my self sustenance. And so I hope this addendum has been helpful. Transcript is posted via Scribe. This recording, the attached addendum, as well as previous recordings and full transcripts and situation reports can be found on our blog, which is on behalf of the story.blogspot.com. And so, yeah, thank you for your presence, and I wish you well.